And, we're getting that back and forth. They're interested, but then it kind of goes flat, where we're having to keep following up, or they keep saying, yes, they're
Mhm.
interested, but they're just not making that next step, that making the decision, finally just committing. So we're kind of talking about that, where in the books that I've been reading, she calls it, she's just not that interested in you. So it's kind of like a relationship. Kind of have to figure out and pay attention to those cues. It's like, okay, they say they like you, but maybe not that much. Maybe not enough to get into like a committed relationship. Because that's kind of the feeling when they decide, okay, yes, I want to commit and invest in myself, but I need you to help me along the way. It's not just they're committing and they're going to do it on their own. Because that's the reason why we're talking to them, because they haven't been able to do it on their own.
They
That's
keep coming up with excuses.
Yes, yes. And so I'm going to kind of go over some of the ways to just combat that. A lot of times it's just switching gears and kind of then just alleviating that pressure of them having to make a decision. And then I'm going to give you like exactly like what you can say and
Okay.
ask for a referral instead. So it kind of then is like, oh, well, she's no longer trying to push for me. Now she's interested in other people, and that's kind of, I know for me, it's to be like, I remember be like, oh, the boy's not interested in me anymore. Like, hold on, I want you to be interested in me. That's the kind of the feeling.
I remembered you saying that one of the first meetings I attended, and I kept that in mind. I've done that recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so that's what I'm going to talk about first, and then probably you won't probably the second part, Margo, you'll probably end up leaving just because time wise. But I want to talk about the follow up.
Okay.
And so when you get a chance, if you do end up leaving, just make sure you can fast forward through what we already talked
Okay.
about and
I
just
will.
definitely listen to the follow up, because I know for me that is one area that I don't do an amazing job at. I write down, like, I have like papers of people
Mm-hmm.
that I freaking message. I put it in my damn note,
Right here.
right? It's just like
Right here.
papers that pile up, and I'm like, oh crap, I've got like hundreds of people I could have followed up on. So,
I bought a little book the other day.
oh,
So
yeah.
it's a little dollar
Hey,
store
it works.
planner
This is
with
mine.
that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to
Okay.
talk about following up as well. Annette, can you?
Okay.
Yeah, I can now.
Okay. So when we're kind of talking about when we are communicating with people and they're really interested and then they kind of go flat. So I know we've all had those kinds of people, and some may have maybe finally joined our team. I mean, Annette was one of them. It took her a damn year to finally say yes.
Mhm.
I mean, it took me oh, I think it took me a little over a month for me to say yes. And that was Kim following up with me every week, which is very rare because now she talks about how she's horrible at following up. But back then, she followed up and she did exactly what we were supposed to do. So it's kind of just letting go of that fear of losing what you don't have, right? That's what we're fearing. We're fearing that, well, we don't even have them as a coach yet. We don't even have them as a challenger yet, but we're afraid to lose them. We can't be afraid to lose them we don't even have. Like, that's just sucking our energy. And we're probably then overlooking some people who really have potential and who really would be interested and would just jump on this opportunity. But instead, we're trying to like will it for people. Like, we see the potential in the other people and they just don't know it, or they're just not ready, or they just don't believe it, or they think it's a pyramid scheme, or whatever cockamamie excuse they want to say at this moment. They're just not doing it. So
Mhm.
kind of what I am learning from a lot of this personal development I'm doing is just the takeaway and not being afraid to use it. So it's kind of like just sort of backing up the offer. And so if they're just not ready, then you're just going to go and kind of say something to this point, that the last thing I want to do is to convince you of anything. If this isn't something you're excited about, then you won't be a good fit. Think about that. I don't think I've ever said that to somebody. But when I think about it, if someone said that to me, my personality, I'd be like, the hell you say I'm not a good fit? You know what I mean? Like I go on the opposite, then I challenge you. Then I'm like, but I do want it. So that's my personality. But then those are the kind of people that I need, the people who get me and who would react the same way as I do. Not somebody who's passive and is like, oh, well, somebody doesn't believe in me. Okay, I'm just not going to do it then. No, if somebody says they don't believe in me, I'm like, F you, I'm going to prove you wrong. So by saying something like that, it's kind of then able to weeding out the people who are supposed to be a part of my team and who get me and the people who are not. It's not to be harsh and it's not to be mean. So that's kind of the sentence that maybe you either need to say over the phone so they can hear your tone, or you send it in those little Facebook voice messages. It's not something that you send in a flat out text, because somebody might be like, that was a total bitch thing to say. When if they hear
you could say, if this is not something you're excited about, this might not be a good fit for you.
Definitely.
That's more polite.
Yes.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. The might is a lot better to say. Another thing you can add on to it is the addressing them hesitating. So if you're hesitating because you're nervous, whether you can actually build this into a business or how it might fit in your life, those are all questions we can explore together. So sometimes they're just not forthcoming with what they're really feeling, or again, that's a fear of theirs. So then they'd rather just say they don't have the time, or they don't have the money, or they're not sure. And then you can even at some point let them know, like, it's natural to be nervous, like I was nervous too, or I made a few mistakes at the beginning as well, but or you can then, if you really need to, try to set up a phone conversation, because that way then it might be a little bit easier for others to rattle off the questions or the concerns versus typing it. So if they're still not really ready to move to the next, for the process of actually, making a commitment, choosing workout program, choosing a flavor of Shakeology and all that, then you kind of just have to be like, you know what, she's just not into us. Like, let's just be real. It's either, you can, however you want to term it, it's not her time, she's not ready, it's, she's not open to opportunity, or she's just not into us. Mm-hmm. That is where then you're going to move away from trying to push a challenge pack, trying to convince her pretty much, like why she needs it. Move away from that, and we're going to ask for a referral. And how we're going to ask is something like this. Doesn't have to be exactly like this, obviously. But it can be like, you know what, Mary, I really sense that this isn't a good fit either for you, at least right now. So now that you've got a good idea what this is about, let's talk about who who just might want to start a part-time business of their own to make their life a little bit easier and more fun. Would you be willing to connect me to people in your network to see if I could be of help to them? Mm-hmm. And I will post this exactly in the team page. So you can always either like copy paste it or whatnot. And I'll do it as a post instead of a document. I don't know if that's easier for you guys, because last week I did all of that stuff as a document in the team page, and I don't know if that's easy or worse for you guys. So did you guys see that? Do you know that I did that?
I opened it. I save them, but I don't even know where they're at. Once you open a document and save it, I can never find it again. So I have to keep going back to the...
Okay, on your, and then just FYI, probably on your computer, it's probably in a folder called downloads.
Oh, okay.
Probably got a shit ton of downloaded files.
I do. I probably do.
Yeah,
probably thousands.
save it to your computer. If you don't see it on your desktop, then it's automatically in the downloads file.
Okay.
But just so you know, so if it's easier, I can just start posting that stuff, like the scripting stuff, just on the team page in the news feed, if that's easier for you to cut in.
I go to your files all the time.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll just copy and paste what I need. Sorry, I'm not feeling good.
Getting them to realize that we're not, we're not all invested in them. That if they're not interested, it's kind of like, all right, cool, like we're good.
Yeah.
We can move on. And then if they're still not responsive after that script that we share and then continuing on, then we're just going to go right into asking for referrals and not being afraid of it anymore, and just kind of being like, I sense this is not a good fit for you right now. But now that you've got a really good idea of what this is, and maybe we can talk about who in your network would be a really great fit in starting a part-time business. Would you be willing to connect, would you be willing to connect with me to the people in your network? So then they kind of get that jolt, be like, oh, well, she's not trying to push me. She's not trying to sell me. She's just moving on. And okay, I think, and a lot of times naturally we're okay with giving people recommendations. Like with restaurants and movies, it should be the same thing as when, oh, you know what, so-and-so I know has been struggling with, trying to be consistent. So yeah, here's her number, here's her name. I know that I was kind of talking with Annette too about some of her clients and kind of utilizing three-way calls if we need to, and using this Zoom functionality. So if you've got somebody who's just really still hesitant, then you can always then, hey, you know what, connect with Annette or connect with me and do like a three-way. And maybe that way seeing somebody face to face and then seeing different levels in the business might be able to help them alleviate whatever questions or concerns that they might have, So they're coming in as a newbie, and you've been doing it for a little while, and then maybe they want to see somebody who, has replaced, a full-time income.
Right.
That is like, and how to pick our brains. And I've never really done that before. And I think that might help some people really actually see that it is absolutely possible to get to that point. My mother still was like, telling me, you just really need to work harder so you can make a living and live on your own. I'm like, I can technically live on my own. I just need to get my finances in order and stop spending so much money. But I do. I make double than what I did as a teacher. Like I pull in double every month. So yes, I could, Mom. Like, thanks. But as a teacher, I made $1,800 a month. That's how much I made as a teacher, $1,800. I went to freaking college. I got through half of my master's, and I said, screw this. My master's is only going to give me an extra $5,000 a year. Okay.
Right.
For all that. I was like, I'm done. I'm about to have kids, and I just got married. I'm not working this hard for another extra $5,000 a year.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, here I am, and I'm able to do a little more than double that every single month. And now when I look at my finances, thank God for Shelly's group, I was like, holy shit, where is my money going to? Oh, it was not a good, it was good, but not a good feeling. So I like that idea of having more three-way calls, or, really trying to go back to how we used to in those coach sneak peeks, and not doing so much about groups and 5 days and 3 days, but let's pop up Zoom call, and just be really just kind of open, like, hey, we're going to have 3 coaches talk, and we're just going to talk real quick little points and then leave it up to questions. I think that is so much better, because still when we do these groups, it's still more like we're trying to convince them, right? Because we are presenting the info, and then there's like crickets. We get nothing back. So instead, I think people who are really interested, they will jump on this call.
I got more no's today than I ever had in my whole beach body thing.
That's awesome. I know
that's what it is.
But that's more people that you're reaching. That's more little,
Yeah.
you know, you're dripping little bits, you know. So they might come back and be like, you know what? It's been eating me away. I really do want to try like what you're talking about.
Well, and I think the biggest thing that will sell it is if people can see the difference. This time that, because it seems like I don't know about you, Annette, but it's always the same 6 or 7 pounds. It's over and over and over. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. I mean, like, I really try to be 90% of the time and eat exactly what I'm supposed to. Of course, you know, like on this time that I'm doing it, I said until they can actually see results. And I'm in a special age group for my friends because at 52, this is the time you're not supposed to be able to lose any weight. So if I can show them that, yeah, it's easy and it's a lifestyle and it's not a diet, and it's something that you do and you like doing it, I think that's where it would, because I've had people, they want to know. And then what's happened was with Lisa Littleton, she was under another coach and I was this close to closing the deal on it. But the information that I had received was, oh, she needs to switch. How does she switch? And it just became too convoluted and she just dropped it. And I've had 3 or 4 other people that are interested in it, and it is pricey. But the one thing I want to mention, I tried to post it, and then I must have deleted it, was, you know how when I was doing the hot flashes when I was in New Orleans, right?
Right.
I had them for a month before I even came to see you, so it was all still brand new. So, but what I noticed is that, and I don't know if this really is, but the week before I came to see you guys, I was consistent with the Shakeology. The week we were together, I was consistent with the Shakeology. In the weeks and then since I've been back every day, I have not had one hot flash.
Yeah.
No night sweats or nothing. So I'm thinking, is that something that, because I know the ladies in my age group, I know it's something they don't want to talk about, but sooner or later it's going to hit us right between the eyes. So, and I really think nutrition and how people feel and what they're doing, and the Shakeology gets us back on track.
Definitely. It's kind of like whatever's missing in your nutrition, what your body needs.
Yeah, nutritionally. Yeah. So I think seeing the difference is what will bring them, just like you. Like you can see the difference in you and Annette both. So
definitely. Another kind of question that is kind of really important to sort of ask is just go ahead and just ask the mother of questions. Do you believe you have what it takes to do this?
Oh, I've never asked that one.
I know. I don't think I've asked that either. I think I asked that like after they become a coach and they're having issues. Then I asked. I'm like, oh, I should have asked that to begin with. Do you believe you have what it takes to do this? Because right then and there, that like just opens up a whole set of doors where we can really then get down to the nitty gritty, you know? I mean, that can like just go ahead and I know exactly how to approach the person. You know, I know exactly what type of books they need to be reading or podcasts they should be checking out first off.
right.
It just knows I know exactly what direction to go to. You know, a lot of people too, you can, you know, if they're still dragging your feet, you can even be like, so if you know that you're willing to learn how to build this, and I can teach you how to build this, and there's loads of people just like you who are successfully building businesses, I must ask you, do you believe you have what it takes, right? So it's kind of then just building upon. You know, you understand what it's got to take. You know that I can get you there. So now, do you believe you can do this? And then another question you can ask is, you know, what do you think the people who are successful have that you don't have? So what do you think the people who are successful have that you don't have?
Time.
Right. Yeah. And you might, you know, that they don't believe, you know, in themselves. They don't feel, that they don't know about, they have enough time, or they don't think they deserve to be successful. Does that sound like someone in pigtails?
That's not feeling well.
No,
You took one too many prunes, Annette.
You know, like we hear and we go through a lot of heavy stuff, you know, we're there for each other and we all have a lot of baggage or, you know, deep dark secrets or whatever it is. But as we start to bring them out to the surface, it does help us then to get closer as a team. But then it kind of just sort of reassures ourselves that that we can heal and that we can overcome. And if we can do that, then we know that we can help others along the way as well. And it becomes far more than just a workout program and a shake. So I really loved those points. And then if they just can't really, they still just can't decide, then you're going to ask them to do 3 things. You're going to ask them to write down the reason why for wanting to do this business, or why they want to start a workout program, or whatever, you know, whatever it is that they told you was their why.
Okay.
Write down your reason why, right? 2, sit down with a pad and paper or computer, whatever it is, and write down everyone you know. Then have them put a star by their top 30 dream team. So people that they would love to build something with, even if they think they have that person would have no interest, just who would be just top 30 their dream team. And we can kind of do this too. I'm definitely wanting to do this now so that I can kind of figure out you know, like my memory jogger. I think we should really always be trying to create this, but especially for newbies, because they're always gonna be like, I don't have time, or I don't know enough people. But really, when they start writing it down, people start coming up. You start thinking about, you know, like third cousin you never talked to, you know. And then the third thing is, I want you to think about why, and if you don't pursue this business, how else will you get to where you want to be? So kind of like, what's your plan B? If you don't do this, then how are you going to achieve your why?
Exactly.
What's plan B? Write it down. And it might be a big fat question mark, you know? And then it's kind of like, well, there's your sign. If you have no effing idea, then ta-da! I'm right here. I'm presenting it to you. Like, the worst thing that could happen is that you end up with a really great workout program or workout catalog and a month of Shakeology. That's the worst thing that could happen. After that, you can wash your hands free. There's like literally no hassle. And I tell people that.
Say it again.
What?
So you end up with the worst thing could happen would be that you'd end up with a month. Okay, so what did you say?
I said the worst thing that could happen is that you ended up with either one workout program or the whole entire catalog and a month of Shakeology. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have an inventory of shit that you can't sell.
Right, and you got a year less, minus a month of Beachbody On Demand. Whether you use it or not, it's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, versus just, you know, you can wash your hands clean of it after that, you know. And I was going to say, you know, when I first got my bag of Shakeology, I like literally, when the coach who I got my challenge pack from, and she's not even a coach anymore, so I'm so glad I didn't sign under her.
Loser.
Her team would have like helped me get nowhere, right? But she told me in her scripting that if you're not interested in continuing to get Shakeology, as soon as you get it, call a customer line and just cancel. And guess what I did? I did that. I had not even opened the bag and even tried it. I was just like, there's no way in hell I'm going to spend, because I was just a customer then. There's no way in hell I'm going to spend $140 again on my credit card that my husband didn't know about for a shake that I did not believe in. I did not think it was going to work. I've tried all those shakes at GNC and it didn't do shit, or it tasted horrible. And I called and I canceled, and they did not give me a hard time at all. They asked, like, do you want to try another flavor? I was like, no, I just can't afford it. It's just too much. They're like, okay, well, we're really sad to see you go, da-da-da-da, and you will not receive any more Shakeology after this month. And that was it. I was like having anxiety and kind of like mentally preparing myself. Do not get sucked in. Don't let them talk you into getting another month or whatever. Just say no. And like, they were just like, okay. And I was like defeated. I'm like, I just used all that energy and gave myself a pep talk for nothing. So I let people know that right off the bat, like, honey, there is going to be zero hassle. Like when I say zero hassle, like it was legit no hassle whatsoever. They were just like, all right, that's it. We're sad to see you go. Bye. And move on. Another thing is that and I really like this. It was from this best-selling author. His name is Sean Art. I don't know how to say his last name. Atcher, maybe? I don't know. But he said that common knowledge doesn't mean common action. And I was like, that's okay. Just because that they have the same info as you, it doesn't mean they're going to act on it like you did. So just because, you know, like I was raised, you know, or, you know, with like social graces, and, you know, maybe my husband's built, you know, raised with more like business etiquette, doesn't mean that the people that we're talking to were raised that way. So we shouldn't let it, we shouldn't take it personally, and we can't let it drain us. So just because we feel and we know that the information presented to us, like the numbers, you know, why being a coach just makes so much more sense versus being a customer. It's the same info. We share it in a picture. We talk about it, you know. We try to just write it down in flat out numbers. And if people just don't get it, we can't take it personally, and we can't just be offended. Some people just, they're not going to know a good thing even if it smacks them across the face, you know? Like some people just do not get saving money and getting a good deal. And others, that's all they look for. Like my husband sucks at saving money. Sucks. He could probably, like I could probably sell him, like if I met him when I sold cars, I could sell him the most overpriced piece of shit and make it sound amazing, and he would have bought the fucking thing. Like I had done that so many times to people with cars. It's so bad. I needed to make money. But that's the thing, you know, like some people just don't see it. They just can't. They can't see that the shake, although yes, dollar amount, it may be, you know, pricey. But if you try to then recreate it and make it on your own, oh, that number is just way too much. I mean, Annette was, you know, just trying to, just a couple ingredients out of the 40, and we were already well over 140 bucks, you know, to try to make it in a 30-day supply. So don't let it drain you, and don't take it personally. You know, that if we know that we went through every single step that I've given you guys, a lot, even with the additional steps that I've kind of added in and all the objections, and then now all of these kinds of stuff, and it's still just not clicking, not working, they're just not into you. It's not their time. And we then just need to ask for referrals and move on. Another thing I loved was that kind of going on with what we were doing, like the whole go for no, and Annette got like so many no's today, is that to not be afraid of the no, because the no's will get you closer to the yeses, and it's closer to finding the people who are really into you, who are really meant to be for you, not just you know, being, you know, the top recruiter and you just recruit every, you know, person, but really finding the people that are meant for you, that are going to follow and be able to duplicate what we share, you know, who are actually going to be teachable. Because I have some coaches that, yeah, they're doing okay, but they are just not teachable. You know, like they want to do it their way and only their way. And that is why it's going to take them much longer to be successful. Because they just don't want to do it together. They don't want to take my mistakes that I share with you guys and apply it to their business. You know, it's kind of like I'm living proof of that, you know, when I joined with Kim, she shared a lot, and she was a much different person. And my success at the beginning is very much because of what she shared and what she allowed us to be able to then duplicate. Now I'm kind of having to do it on my own, which is fine. So that's kind of just as when someone's not into you, or they're kind of being plateauing, those are the little wordings and things that we can say, and then also the mindset that we have. Now, as far as following up, this is very, very kind of tricky, and can also be a time suck, because the amount of noise that each of us is bombarded every day, you know, whether it's from work, whether it's social media, family, you know, there's a lot, you know. So on any given day, the person you're talking to might just have too much noise in their life.
Amen.
right? And they're just not able to listen. And so
Yeah.
even if they really wanted to, and so that's kind of where I like moving away, yeah, moving away from those long messages, you know. It's kind of nice to then all of a sudden see like a little voice message, because then I can play that and I can still do other things. It's kind of like an Audible book, you know. Sometimes it's hard to sit and read the damn book when I've got laundry to do or I got a vacuum, so I can just pop in those earphones and go. So again, but then also it could just be, it's going to take a couple more exposures of you reaching out to that person before then they really just go ahead and maybe it's the right time or they're warmed up to you. So that's where the exposures doesn't mean you keep inviting them and you use different wording. It means like if they haven't responded back to you maybe after 2 invites to a challenge group or checking in with them, then you actually kind of have to then go to their news feed. Look, I literally do like 2 scrolls up and trying to find something either that I can comment on, and then because then that puts me on their news feed, or something that I can just quickly send like a hey girl message that's just on that. Like, I love the family photos that you were able to take. You know, I'm so jealous that your kids looked at the camera. You know, all of you were looking at the camera, something like that. Or that vacation looked fabulous. You know, what was your favorite part? So something completely left field. So they know that it's not just like a robo message, that you're not just copy paste 50 times. That you're actually taking the time.
I have a
And
question.
yeah.
So I noticed, because I'm following Kim, your coach, right, which is our upline or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, she really has a good shtick this time. Did you see what she did?
Which, no.
She got a picture of her butt, looks as big as mine.
Oh, they're the one in the dress? Yeah.
That dress. I'm like, girl, I have got to get my picture of my ass because I know in 3 months it's not going to look like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, but really, and you know what, did you notice what she did? She's given away free journals for the first 10 people.
Yeah.
Smart, gimmicky, smart.
Yes.
So if we could figure out how to do that too. And because I can't go on my own, and the reason I can't go on my own even right now is because my job at work is 2 jobs.
Right.
Like it's not just manual, it's a lot of thought process. I have to watch what I'm saying. I have to be aware of my surroundings. Like it's really,
you know what I think would be cool is if we did something similar to that, but we did it as a team. So we kind of were able to do like little collages of all of our booties. So that people can see our shapes, our ages, it's all different, but we're still able to make, you're still going to see changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Collectively, then, and then give away, you know, 10 journals or whatever, you know.
And everybody could just split it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I love that. I did see
so,
that.
And I think another thing too is if we could get the people back on that we've lost, like Wendy Handel's got a lot going on. I would like to get her back on, and Kamala too. She just into a new relationship. You know that part where you gain weight. You know, you're happy and sassy and you're eating. But if I could get her back on, and then one girl never got back on, Angela. If I could get them back on, even if it was something free that I could give away, because really, I hate to say it, free talks.
It does.
And I would love to sign up for Kim's yoga thing, but I'm not going to because that's for us. But I mean, like we've got the shift shop going on, but she makes the yoga, you know, goddess thing. Like she's selling that right now. I don't know how well she's doing it.
You can join any of her groups.
Well, I didn't know that we could, but I would really like to try the yoga.
But just make sure you show up.
Yeah.
Because she'll kill you.
Post, she's gonna call you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right? Hey.
Yeah.
Kristen. Yeah. So I mean, maybe we could do something similar.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love
something that's not strenuous, something that people aren't having to jump up and down and skip, because it's great that everybody sees everybody jumping around in circles and stuff, and you know, burpees. But there's a lot of women when you first start, there's not a burpee. I didn't even know how to do a burpee.
Yeah.
And another thing that I'm worried about is all the stuff we're putting in these shakes. We're putting, all the stuff that we're adding. So it looks like the Shakeology itself is not enough. I'm worried about all the stuff that we're adding to it. So, I mean, like for me, I'll add a third of a banana and a shake and water and ice, done. Maybe some cinnamon. I keep it natural just to change the taste, not so much to change the formula. And I've really noticed that, we're adding lots and lots of other stuff to it, which is fine, but it makes it look like Shakeology is not the
That's a
full
good
meal
point.
deal, that you have to buy all this extra stuff to put in it to make Shakeology. So I'm worried about that, and I meant to bring it up to you guys. And I think the pictures that we took in New Orleans at that first night, you guys should be posting those pictures. I don't think you could get a better picture, and it's not because I'm the photographer. I'm just saying.
I do need to. I
Yeah,
know.
you guys all looked because you were all working your asses off to look really super good before we went. Your guys'
all
skin
right.
looked amazing. Your hair looked amazing. You didn't have to eat any prunes, Annette. You were on point. So you really need to, and pump that up for that summits next year. And because that was the one thing that seeing the pictures from the summit when you girls were all dressed up last year is what sold me on going to the summit this year. It was immediate. I bought my ticket immediately. So I'm just letting you know what I saw. That's what attracted me. And the only reason I even started this was just because I was helping Annette.
Yeah.
Yes.
So really,
She started just to help me out.
Yeah. And look at
so,
what you got now.
and that's kind of what that is too, cashing in the friend card. It's always nice to have somebody support you.
Definitely.
And Annette and I had never met, but it's building that relationship where, anyways, just thought I would give you my observations.
I love that. No, I'm listening. I was just trying to write it down so that I don't forget. So.
And I even like the little journal that Annette gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got what you ate or whatever. I've left it out in the car for a couple days, so I have to fill it out. But it has helped me, and I think you got that from Michael's, didn't you, Annette?
Yeah, I think
And
it
then
was.
you could, and then stick a really nice sticker on the front of it, or maybe write, "Good luck. This is going to be your best 30 days ever." Something that makes it personal,
Yeah,
and you sign it. Yeah.
I love
What do you think of that?
Okay, fitness nutrition journal.
I said, "What do you think of that?" My husband goes, "Stupid."
Well,
Anyway, but
Debbie, she cooked her own dinner.
and then look, see, can you see this? Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. So it's a little flamingo paper clip so that it keeps you, you know what I mean? So then you have something. Yeah. See? Anyways, it's just all that little personal stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe one of your calling cards, and then I've been carrying my purse. I still have the little Team Dauntless on it. So it kind of reminds me of who I belong with, right? It's kind of something that was a smart. So I put it on my purse, so then it's like, well, I belong with somebody. And I wear my bracelets that you guys gave me. So it gives me a way to say, oh, wow, that's thanks. That's Kim from my, my coach or whatever. So
right. It's a conversation starter.
Yeah. So the blingier, the better. Just saying.
I know. Next year
me.
it'll be better. It'll be more blingy.
But I'm just, that's kind of what I'm thinking of, is because. But you guys should post your pictures. You guys looked really, really good, and yeah. Because everybody wants your cup that you got us too.
This time.
Oh, really? What, Annette?
I haven't even posted hardly any this time like I did last year.
I know. I didn't take a ton of pictures either this time. Just kind of weird for me.
I took a lot, but I haven't posted any.
You just need to do like I use Flipagram, so it does like it's like a slideshow video of all the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
So you could do
and Instagram's nice too.
Mhm. Yeah. I'll have to show you guys how to do Instagram stories. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I do. Oh, I don't know how to do that, but I know that I did the little,
Okay. So yeah, I'm starting to do Instagram stories. I'm trying to do less Snapchat and more Instagram stories, because that's what it is. Instagram stories is just like Snapchat and Instagram.
I gotta go for a minute.
Go. Hopefully it'll be success.
We're here for you.
We're rooting you on. Okay, so follow up. Oh my gosh, I took so many really good notes, right? So we always know when someone says no, it doesn't mean hell no, unless they tell you stop messaging me. It's just a not right now. But I really like the golden rule is that always reach back periodically, you know, unless they've already joined or obviously they say, don't talk to me. But don't ever think that you're being pushy. You're just being professional when you follow up. That's just what you do in business. Until somebody literally says, stop contacting me or already signed up as a coach, you keep following up. Because you just never know when things fall, you know, the stars align or whatever it is, clicks. And you don't want to think, and it's happened to me with a lot of my high school friends where I didn't follow back with them because I'd already messaged them maybe 3-4 times, and come to find out, then I see them posting that they're hosting a challenge group, and I was like, what the hell, woman? Why didn't you say yes when I asked you? And I will tell you the number one reason they tell me is that, oh, well, I just signed up with a coach that lives near me. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where the hell your coach is, whether local or not. Like, physicality does not matter when you want to sign up as a coach. It's who you feel that you connect with the most and who you're going to be able to actually, you know, you trust and you build a business. Now, if you trust them, fine, and they happen to be closer, awesome. But that should not be the determining factor, is just because they're closer to you. Just shouldn't. You know, because if that was the case, then why are we opening like in the UK? That means then here in the US, we're never going to be able to like talk to you in the UK. Or like, why do we open in Canada? That means like no one's ever going to sign up with us when you're in Canada, because we're not close to each other. So I realized that when that happens, then I'm not showing enough value in myself, and that I'm not connecting to them, that they're not seeing that there is something that we have in common, that I haven't built that bond strong enough yet, is what I've realized. So that's where it's really important to kind of go back what I went over last week about what's in it for them, so that they really feel like we give a shit. And it's not just what I'm going to get. You sign up as a challenge group, and that means I'm going to get a new person on my team. No, what are they going to get? So it's really helping. Like, so it's legit. We're saying that that our job is to help others. Well, here we go. This is how we help others. What else? Oh, and this was really cool. So she's got different reasons on why we update, right? So one reason to update is to follow up is to just update them on your business. So say like you just earned your first paycheck, right? Or your first like triple digit paycheck, you know, or like Kim, you know, celebrated when I had my first, four-figure paycheck. She celebrated that, right? And so you could say is, I know we talked when I first launched my business and it wasn't the right time for you, but I had to tell you what's happened in just a month, or what's happened in the past year, or whatever time frame you want to say. And, you know, I've either earned my investment back, or I've earned my largest paycheck, or I've been able to use my earnings to whatever, you know, pay off a card, or, you know, I don't know, help out with the family groceries, whatever it is, you know, kind of share those little day-to-day things. And that say, I think you should take another look. This could be the way for you to, and you fill in the blank for whatever their why was, right? So again, it's just sharing another little tidbit of what the business was able to do for you, so then they can relate it to their life. Or maybe, you know, you've moved up a rank, you know, and so I wanted to update you on my business because I'm really seeing some traction here. Since we last talked, I've been promoted, whatever. I've moved up 1 time, or I've promoted 3 times, or however verbiage you want to say it exactly. But then you just say, it just means my earnings have continued to grow. maybe you should take another look. It would sure be fun to help you earn extra money and perks like this. So this is also really great, to talk about even like Summit, I've been able to earn, to be able to pay for my ticket to go to Summit next year.
Yeah, it's kind of what Shelly's working on, right, with us.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Another thing is if our team, experiences any successes, that's another way you can kind of check in with them. Is I had to reach out because I'm not only having great success, but I'm helping other people reach big milestones. And it doesn't need to be like business. Like if you just want to reach out to a challenger, this is a great way to say, I've had really great success, but I'm also helping others have really awesome, really hitting strides or having fantastic success. And that's where you can say either one of my clients or one of my challengers just, hit the 20-pound mark, or
okay, well, that's kind of like Kim even did. She just posted somebody, and we only been through 1 week, and she showed
yes,
a fat little belly compared to a less fat little belly.
yes,
Right, and then you know what? That was that I hate to say it, but that by seeing that made me push again this week. And I don't know if she really lost that much, but she looked less bloated. So it goes to tell me that the food that she's eating and the Shakeology is, you know what I mean? Even if she hasn't lost weight, you can just see the less bloating. So yeah, no, I do. Like, less thirsty, Craig said. Okay.
What's another one? Oh, I mean, obviously when new products launch or new programs, we hit people up, and let them know. Or it's kind of hard, but if we have when we have Super Saturdays, you can always invite people. Anybody and everybody can go to a Super Saturday.
Where do we find the listing for that? Because I met a woman at the airline, and there's a whole bunch of people here in Alberta that's selling Shakeology.
Yeah.
And there was a Super Saturday, and I missed out on it.
Oh no.
So I don't. So where do I?
It should be on the website, but you have to scroll all the way down to FAQ.
Okay.
And if you type in, Super Saturday in Canada, it should already list. And then you should be also a part of, it might be there should be a Facebook group for people in Alberta. Because we have one, and it's was it Phoenix? No, Arizona Team Beachbody Coaches.
Okay.
They put everything, that whether if they're selling extra products, or when Super Saturday comes, or any events, or when Carl came out. So there's got to be a Facebook group for coaches in Alberta. And that's how you'll definitely be able to keep in touch and kind of meet other coaches too. But then you should never then miss out on a Super Saturday. And what's cool is that on Super Saturdays, they have a coach ticket and they have a non-coach ticket. And the non-coach ticket is cheaper. But it's kind of also that they're not obligated to sit and listen to everything. So usually the Super Saturdays, the workout's at the end. And so a lot of times, if I have people who are interested, I'll tell them they don't need to come on time unless there's a speaker there that I think that would be really helpful for them to make the decision. But if I always tell them to come an hour later, and I meet up with them, they come in, they sit, and then they can either finish listening to the last part of the guest speaker, and then they do the workout. And it's kind of that part, just being able to do the workout and them seeing all these bodies, all shapes, sizes, ages, that we're all Beachbody coaches, whether we're actively working the business or not, kind of really then helps to make that decision as well. So you never know, ask them, ask the ask. You just never know. And just say, there's an informational event happening in our area next week. If you want to take a closer look, it'll be a great opportunity.
I think that kind of would pump somebody up too, because then another thing too is they get to hang out with you for the day or whatever, and it's kind of a girlfriend thing. I think that would be a good idea. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Let's see. And the last, is it the last one?
I gotta go. I'll re-listen to it. I'm not feeling good.
Okay. Bye, Annette.
Bye.
Keep me posted.
I will.
So I really didn't like that one. What else is there? Oh, like, so if somebody's pregnant, like a new baby, or like now, like for us, like kids are starting to go back to school. My kid goes to school tomorrow. I've done this too, as far as like with babies, you know, I can say like, you know, between now and when the baby comes, you could build a significant lucrative business now to afford all the diapers and formula and whatever, at least here, because like maternity leave is max of 6 weeks. And then after that, you have to sacrifice your job, or certain jobs already allow you to take out short-term disability insurance. Like that's what I had to do with my first. But even when I did that, I lost my position at that school because I was on maternity leave. So they shuffled me around to another school.
And here it's a year.
Yeah, right. And then when I had my second, I was teaching part-time, so I was not eligible to do short-term disability insurance. So thank God I had him right around the Christmas holiday winter break, and then I decided not to go back. But so you can talk about that, or you know, some people call it like postpartum prospecting. So if you know the mamas have just had babies, you know, and it's been, you know, 6 to 8 weeks, so you know they're cleared to actually work out, and you know they should be eating healthier, since hopefully they're trying to at least breastfeed for at least a little bit. If anything, that's where, you know, be a great, you know, what's in it for them kind of, you know, I know you're probably lacking social interaction with adults and, you know, needing motivation. We've all been there, and this would be just a great community for you to hook up with, and to have that support, that direction, and maybe nutritional education on how to, you know, keep going now with your new body and your new baby. What's another one? And the last one is when someone just like them succeeds. So if you know someone in our team, or you've just seen some other people like that one lady who looks a lot less bloated.
Yeah.
You know, you can always ask and find out like who that picture was, and ask them permission. Like, hey, can I send this? Can I use your picture and send it to a potential client? I'm sure they'll say not a problem, especially if we're just sharing it to potential people, that we're not just trying to post it out there on social media. And you can just be like, I was just thinking of you because I had, you know, whoever it is, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a mom, maybe it was a professional woman, just joined my team, and they were really excited for me to help build their business and to exceed their current salary. And I just couldn't help wonder if you wanted to take another look. Since I know you would love to, like, you know, either quit this job or, you know, whatever it is, again, repeating their why, you know, whether it's, you know, to pay for their kids, you know, schooling, or for retirement, and then just kind of leave it at that. And a really big one is somebody who wants to retire from their job. So kind of like Margot, or even like Annette at this point, you know, is I had to reach out to you because there's so-and-so that I work with who just retired because she was able to grow her business. She's excited to not have to go through another work season, and I thought maybe you'd want to take another look at what we're doing, you know. So kind of relating it to other people as well, so that they know that they can do it, that it's possible for somebody like them, because I know that's another big thing. It's like, well, somebody like me can't do it, or, you know, that's where they just don't believe in themselves, or they think they're the exception to the rule, that everybody else can except them because they got dealt bad cards or whatever. And that's just their self-limiting belief. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to kind of go over, and just my aha moments from what I read that I thought were really noteworthy, and that hopefully maybe either you can take away some of the same aha moments, or switch and convert it to how you would just say it in your own words, or just maybe now think next time when you're in that process, like, oh, I could create a post, these are not all just follow-ups. These are also post ideas, or if you want to recognize somebody else's success, you can still do that too. And it can be you can be putting out there saying, this is your dream, your aspiration. Like, this is my goal as well. I know it's possible because, she's a fabulous woman on our team and she can make it happen. And so can I, kind of a thing. And then it also holds you accountable, because then other people are going to see that on social media. Like, you kind of just outed yourself. Like, oh, she just said she wants to hit diamond. We're going to follow her now and see what she does. And then some people might check in and be like, when do you hit diamond? Or what is that diamond? Or what are you talking about? And
Right.
then conversation starter again.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you like any of the points that I kind of brought over, I really would suggest reading this book. It's a super easy book to read. I'm able to read like a chapter, maybe like max like 15 minutes a chapter. Oh, sorry.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's super easy. I was kind of bummed though that it's not in an Audible, because I know sometimes with the net it's easier to be an Audible. Maybe it'll come out eventually, because this just came out, I think, in January. So but it's a good book. I mean, the chapters are funny, like, karma's a bitch if you are. I
Yeah,
find
exactly.
books that are funny like that. Or the last chapter I haven't gotten to is hashtag, it says F fear, which I think is like the biggest thing. But it's an easy book. I don't read it every day, because some days it's not what I need, like I've said, I know what I need to feed my soul, and some days it's just not that.
Exactly.
But I've heard a lot of really good things about this one. This is the book that Shelley was talking about, that I think she has on Audible, and she got the actual book. She did both. This lady has written another book called You're a Badass, and that was really good and very motivating, and it was a super easy, quick book. And so I know this way it's going to help too, and hopefully she'll probably have some good ideas as far as how to deal with money as well.
Well, and I think too, if you pick out a book that all of us can look at or review, or even go to chapters and just take a peek at it, and maybe even just read a chapter and maybe discuss it. Yeah, even if it's only people that can only meet for 15 or 20 minutes, it doesn't have to be a long. But I think we're stronger together as a team, as you noticed when we were in New Orleans. If when you're together, it's empowering. When you're by yourself, you feel like, because I don't have time to learn everything. However, but when you or Annette, when we're all together, it seems like you know what I mean. You combine all those energy. Yeah.
I love that idea. I already saved, I think, 16 books in my Amazon shopping cart.
Well, good.
So I'm going to go look through them, and I'll do some screenshots and then just sort of present it, like, which book would you all like to read as a team? And then we can do that, and, just maybe each of us take a chapter and just either come on and talk about it, or just quickly post, or go live on the team page too.
Yeah.
About your takeaways of that.
That's a great idea.
Well, you thought of it. I just tweaked it.
Well, I think I'll try that. Get over your damn self. I'll take a peek at it this weekend, and then I'll see. And then maybe we can do something starting next week or something. Because the longer you put it off, even if only a couple of us can get together, and you don't even have to buy the book. A lot of times you can look into like chapters. You go to the store or Indigo or whatever's in the States and read a chapter. You don't have to buy the book.
Exactly. Yeah, they can
right?
go to
Library, right? The library
look at
and the
you.
used bookstores have a lot of books like these too, right?
Yeah, they do. Even like I'm addicted to the app called OfferUp. It's like a yard
Okay.
sale app. People sell all kinds of shit, even books.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. So okay, so choose a team book. All right, cool. So I'm gonna present some of these things also in the team page is
Yeah.
about what we talked about. But let's plan for then. Why don't we do then, since we're already kind of in August, and I don't know if Annette already has a theme or for her
Yeah.
challenge groups, but let's go ahead and plan September. That's
Okay.
going to be our yoga challenge group. So we've got time now to think about what name we want to do it or our theme or whatever. So we'll do that in September. And we'll plan that out. Uh-oh, you went frozen.